what? There's a problem here.
Yeah.
And we want to study this stuff, and we need to clean house. And thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
But you would have to step so far out of your belief system and be so objective and so self-aware that you're realizing you're in some sort of a preposterous group. And very few people are willing to admit that most of their life's work has been nonsense.
Yeah, especially when you get rewarded for that, you get promoted for that, you get accolades from that.
You carry status and privilege.
Look, I mean, when people join some fucking wacky cult, like, they don't join it saying, this is bullshit, but it'll be fun. They believe it.
Right.
They buy into it.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is no different. It's like what we're talking about ideologies, how people, they lock into these predetermined patterns of thinking and behavior. And this is what's happening here.
Yep.
And it's very much like a cult. It's very much like any other groupthink sort of environment.
It's like Scientology grew up in the university.
Yes.
So everything they put out about thetans and volcanoes or whatever they've got, all of a sudden, that's not like just crazy, L. Ron Hubbard, was it Dianetics or whatever. That's gold standard knowledge, academic press, Oxford,
Yeah, that's how you get a degree.
Yeah, and then you get to teach it. And as somebody wrote an article criticizing us yesterday, and they're like, oh, they don't understand. They think we just talk to each other in a bubble. We talk to policymakers. We talk to media. And it's like, no shit. That's why we did this. You do talk to other people. You are running into, HR departments. You're telling them how to do their diversity officers.
They're institutionalizing.
They're institutional, and they talk to policymakers. I get emails. I don't know if you saw a year before all this, we did this really, bad attempt at it called conceptual penis as a social construct. So we said that penises are a social construct and they cause climate change. And this got a little bit of attention. I've been getting emails ever since then from some member of EU Parliament, and they're like, we have another gender initiative that we're going to try to basically foist upon, EU, and then it's going to dictate how Europe now works with Africa going forward about climate. And so because I wrote this conceptual penis and climate change thing, and it's all based on, making fun of gender studies, it was at the time anyway, they were like, you're an expert. So now the EU's calling me, what do we do about this gender initiative? But that's real, right? The EU Parliament's not like nothing. It's not it's not like a meeting of some dorks at a conference. That's real. They're coming up with policy to dictate how they want to interact with Africa for the next, 20, 30 years. That's real. And these people are emailing me saying this scholarship that you guys are criticizing is really, it's on the agenda of the EU Parliament. So help.
All right.
Well, it seems like what we have here is sort of a wave of ideas, right? It goes in and it goes out, and it's going back and forth, and you need this sort of balancing act. And
I agree.
Things need to go so haywire that people step in and go, well, I'm pulling my fucking kids out of Evergreen State.
Yep.
This is crazy. And that's a great example of a place that went too far.
Yep.
Yeah, and what we don't want to have happen is we don't want people to pull their kids out of the universities because there are some...
Not the university, but these departments, don't major in it.
Exactly.
Don't major in it.
But it's...
Which department specific?
Gender studies, critical race studies, cultural studies, queer theory. Fat studies if it happens to have one.
I read a biography of a guy who teaches critical whiteness.
Oh yeah, critical whiteness is a thing. That actually, there was a journal, and then it got so out there that it got criticized out of existence. But it's a big thing. There's some big paper I was reading just before we went public with all this, and I got asked about it. And luckily, I read it because we did the Mein Kampf. Of course, Israel's like, you got Mein Kampf published. Oh my God, we need to talk to you. Israel, TV, I was on Israeli TV. What the hell? And so all these Israeli journalists are calling me, talking to me about it, and over the Mein Kampf. And I read this one paper. They're like, well, do you think that Jewish studies is like this? And I found this paper just before this all came out that was Jewish studies criticizing critical whiteness studies, because there's this whole thing about how the critical whiteness people accuse the Jews of being white. And then there's all this, where does the oppression lie? Because, the Jews have had it pretty rough over, the last 2,000 years or thereabouts. But then you got the critical whiteness people being like, no, they're white. It's a white privilege, blah, blah, blah. And then the Jewish studies people are like, hold up, don't put us up here and say that we're all white supremacists. We were gassed by the white supremacists. chill out.
Yeah.
So there's this huge like critical studies fight between the Jewish studies people and the critical whiteness people over whether Jews count as white people or not and have white supremacy built in. And they asked me about this, the Israeli journalist did, and I was like, well, you know, I have to sympathize with what their argument is, but they're still using the same broken methods, and so you still want to see better methods, right? I think the Jewish people have a point. You know, we've been pretty heavily oppressed for 2,000 years. You start with like, you know, the Romans decimating them, and then the diaspora, and then the Holocaust, and it's just not good. So I think they have a point that, you know, don't just say, oh, we have crazy white privilege and they're therefore white supremacists. But if you want to do that, you know, maybe this methodology of complaining about it's not the best way to go. It's complicated stuff, but at least they're against the critical whiteness stuff.
This critical whiteness thing you were saying is they have a journal?
They did. The Journal of Whiteness Studies or something like that, or Critical Whiteness. It lasted for about 3 years, and I don't know exactly why it fell apart, but it fell apart because I was really upset because I wanted to send a paper to it, and it doesn't exist anymore.
What were you going to send a paper on?
The rewrite of Mein Kampf, where the lesbian woman excoriates her own whiteness. I was going to send it to that journal, and then it doesn't exist anymore, so I had to send it to a critical race journal, who then said, it's a good idea, but you're positioning yourself as a good white, and that's a problem,
All
so we
these
can't publish
papers,
it.
by the way, they're all online. We were completely transparent and honest with everybody. There's a Google Drive.
A Google Drive with every paper,
And
all the peer review
review comments, everything, Mike Nana's videos, everything is up there.
Yeah.
It's totally free for everybody.
Yeah, we get accused of being grifters. We don't have... How are we grifting? You know, it's in a Google Drive that anybody can just go download all of it. I don't recall getting money for that.
We really do think that, and I'm... Yeah, there you go.
Swedish professor rebels against
this is
university's
new.
critical whiteness.
This is new, yeah.
Oh, yeah. A couple days ago. One of Sweden's most merited and acclaimed political scientists and long-term critics of identity politics, Bo Rothstein, has argued that identity-based disciplines like grievance studies, which deals with the concept of collective guilt, have no place in academia.
Yeah, grievance studies is right on.
Yeah,
grievance
that guy's fired.
We came up with grievance studies, so I'm delighted to see that that's caught on.
Bo, start a podcast immediately and a Patreon page so that you don't have to worry about losing your house.
Right.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
On, right on.
I mean, I don't know how it is in Sweden.
Yeah, I don't either, but
I
that
mean,
guy's probably
look,
screwed.
Whatever the fuck they did with Jordan Peterson, they created a goddamn monster.
Oh,
Whoops.
yeah.
You guys fucked up. You guys created a multi-millionaire who's worldwide famous and is a huge bestseller.
He was just talking to Swedish politicians on TV the other day, so watch out.
They fucked up with him. Boy, did they fuck up.
And Dave was just texting me, a friend Ruben was just texting me pictures that are all full. It's crazy, and the energy in that place is crazy.
He's selling out 5,000-seat theaters.
He's a rock star.
He's a fucking rock star. He's an intellectual rock star. It's hilarious.
Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of other guys are doing it too. Sam Harris is doing that now as well.
Yeah.
They're doing these gigantic, huge speeches. It's like,
good for him.
fine. Well, absolutely good for him. But what I'm excited about is how many people are interested in the debate of ideas, and that this is not happening on the college campuses. But a lot of these people that are have graduated from college, or are in the working world. They're very fascinated by this.
It's real. It's what you were saying. It's been suppressed for long enough, and now, Jordan Peterson, what was his thing? He's like, you're not going to tell me the words I can use, right?
When there's 78 different words for genders, I can safely say you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's like this desperation to try to find a unique identity that you can consider to be super special or whatever. It's totally.
But
you want to see even crazier is you go on these blogs. I think they're mostly on Tumblr or something. It violates my rule, never use Tumblr, where they talk about the different sexuality identities, like different kinds of, I'm interested in this kind of person, but not this kind of person under these circumstances, but not under those. That has like some, 18-syllable academic word for it now. And there's people whose I don't think they're academics. I think they're activists and geeks on Tumblr, but they come up with these crazy descriptions. There's like hundreds of sexual orientations.
Yeah, it's just people wanting to be different.
I think
they
so.
want to be special, and they're not good at anything.
That's, I think, the
So
thing.
that was the other part of, I guess, one of the things that Jim said when I said I was more cynical. I think that in general, the critics tend to be angry. And I'm not saying that their anger is legitimate or illegitimate, but they tend to be angry. They seem to be almost universally underaccomplished.
Yes.
So they're upset at you because you have whatever, a big show or waterfall, whatever they're upset about, big platform or audience. They're just generally disagreeable people, and they found these communities of other people who are enraged, who are also underaccomplished, who they can lash out at people together and then virtue signal, get rewarded for, oh, Rogan, whatever they want to call you or whatever they want to call us or whoever else.
Some kind of an oppressor. Probably.
Yeah, some kind of oppressor. And there's something that's so, I don't know how we can deal with that. I mean, our attempt to do this was to try to delegitimize where they get their knowledge from, like what they call knowledge, so what they could point to. We tried to say it's not knowledge and delegitimize it. But we really do need to get back to some kind of productive discussion, productive politics, where the far right disown their lunatics and we disown our lunatics, and we get back to work about whatever, oceans, plastic, whatever it is that we're talking about, because right now the discourse is corrupted. We're not doing what we need to do in the academies. These people are continuing to pump out this nonsense that's totally untethered to reality. It's a huge problem. I'm sick of it. You're sick of it. We're all sick of it.
We're all sick of it.
We're sick of it. I'm sick of it. I've had it. I've had it with these folks.
It just doesn't seem. It doesn't seem like it's sustainable.
I don't think it is.
It seems like some weird thing that's going to run out of energy.
Well, it's eating itself.
Yeah.
It constantly eats itself. Like we did the thing about the people of color and the black indigenous people of color. They fragmented. You see when you get into the critical race literature that it's like, okay, so you're brown or you're black, but you have slightly lighter skin, slightly darker skin, slightly darker than that, really dark. They have different levels of privilege, and it's just cutting things apart. The idea, though, that this is going to create some kind of a coalition that can then defeat, a plurality or something like that is ridiculous.
exactly the
So what do you
opposite.
see? You see this stuff starting to blow up. You see the Democrats bleed seats. They've lost like 1,000 legislative seats across the U.S. since Obama got elected in 2008. How are you going to get your agenda if you don't have any legislators, if you don't have anybody elected? And so then what happens? 2016. I can't say that the reason that Trump got elected, because there's lots of reasons, had something to do. No, I will say it had something to do with this, because every conservative person I know that's not just a reactionary is like, and I live in the Southeast, man. I know some conservatives. Most of my friends are conservatives because I don't have a choice. If I want to have friends, they're going to be conservatives. It's who lives there. So I talk to them, and they're like, oh, yeah, they're tearing down this kind of statue. Oh, yeah, and it's not like they're tearing down Confederate statues. They're tearing down Thomas Jefferson. It's like they're...
George Washington.
George Washington. Halloween's a problem. Then
Whoa, I didn't know.
You didn't know Halloween's a problem? What are you
No.
going as for Halloween?
I'm a shark.
You're a shark?
My kids are mermaids. Is that my problematic?
Oh, God, if they're mermaids and you're a shark, you are definitely taking like a dominant power position.
Yeah.
That's power.
They pick my outfit.
Oh,
I don't pick my outfit. I have kids.
Oh,
They tell me what I am. Is that an issue?
I don't know. I'll try to figure out a paper for that.
Yeah. I
But
think
what's wrong with Halloween?
Halloween?
Yes.
Oh, God, cultural
Hold on.
appropriation.
Sean White apologizes for Tropic Thunder Simple Jack costume.
Oh, no. He dressed up as a black person.
No, Simple Jack is the mentally handicapped
Oh,
person.
yeah. Okay. That's right. That's
I
right.
don't know
Robert
who that
Downey
is.
Jr. might be the last guy ever to wear blackface
Yeah, that's
and
true.
pull it off. When are they going to pull that show? When are they going to pull Tropic Thunder? It's problematic.
No, I don't even know
I mean,
the show.
there's
God,
probably
well,
a
you never
paper.
saw Tropic Thunder?
Never.
God damn, that's
Oh,
a funny
that's-
movie.
Yeah,
It's wonderful. You'll love it, and it's
special.
entirely politically incorrect.
Yeah, it's as politically writing it down.
Tropic Thunder is a fucking great movie.
It is a gem.
It's a great movie.
See,
It's
now we're going to be
really
racists
funny.
and ableist for saying that
Oh
it's
yeah,
funny.
for sure. We got real issues.
We do have
What's
issues.
wrong with Halloween again?
Halloween is, well, mostly there's a lot of cultural appropriation going on. So somebody might dress up like put on a sombrero and a poncho.
That's an issue.
Yeah, and then especially on Tuesday if we have tacos today. You know.
Yeah, you can't be a Native American.
You can't be a Native American. There's that big stink just now about the Victoria's Secret fashion show where they had like their indigenous, colors and their feathers they were wearing and walking around half naked. You can't do that. So it's the idea mostly that people are going to take costumes that are insensitive to other people.
Cultural appropriation.
Cultural appropriation. So it's not
Can you
possible.
still dress up as Bruce Lee?
Oh man, I don't know because maybe at
Because he's
Harvard.
Asian.
For a while.
At Harvard, maybe because he's Asian and it gets complicated there. But no, this all blew up at Yale a few years ago. I thought for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nick Christophels.
Yeah.
How do you say his last name?
Christakis, I think.
Christakis.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
so it
he's
blew up
coming
on
on
him.
soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
cool.
he's a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Those kids screaming at him.
Screaming
this is
at
supposed to
him.
be a safe place.
Yep. Yep.
It was just his
Yale.
wife put out an email saying maybe it's okay to be politically incorrect on Halloween. And
Yeah, it was.
they're
It was just
costumes.
choose your costume how you're going to choose it. We're all adults. It's probably bad to be deliberately offensive, and yet it's also bad to overreact to incidental stuff. Oh yeah, it's all this stuff. Like little girls, if they're white, can't dress up as Mulan and
Oh, that's right.
Pocahontas
I forgot
or
about
Pocahontas.
that. Mulan's a new one.
Yeah.
Pocahontas sprawl.
But I think Bruce Lee is still on the menu. I don't think anybody's gotten in trouble for being Bruce Lee. You could wear like the tracksuit. Like,
I get the tracksuit.
Uma Thurman did in Kill Bill.
that's
big
right.
footprint across my chest, right?
Footprint.
Yeah, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
Abdul-Jabbar.
kicked him.
Right. But a lot of people go with the cuts.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
I don't have enough abs for that. That's gonna be a bad costume.
What is this? Yeah, you could buy a Bruce Lee costume.
Look at
for
that.
now.
For now.
For now.
Who knows?
Oh, it comes with a wig too.
Yeah, dope. For now.
Oh, even a baby costume. Look at that.
Look at that.
Oh,
As long as you're Chinese, that baby's Chinese. It's fine. Yeah, that guy's fucked.
Yeah, that
You
guy's
can't be
going
a
down.
kung fu guy. No.
No.
Not allowed. Can't be a ninja.
No, way too
Yeah.
much cultural appropriation.
Boy. This mess that we're in. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. The response that we've got so far has been really positive, but it's all like the secret positive. So the feeling I get is
In
that,
academia.
well, from academics, yeah, the general public has been way more positive than that.
Yeah.
Positive.
Yeah.
Super positive.
So
super supportive.
So the wind is changing, right? If we're getting that much, we got no real blowback. We got lots of positivity from the public. Even academics are reaching out. They're like secret positive. With them, it's like one more thing, right? We need a critical mass because what they are is they're all lined up. They know the first one to step out of line and challenge the stuff's getting shot. It's like the communist situation. After communism fell, nobody really believed it anymore, but they had to go along with the party or they're going to get shot. But if a whole bunch of people come forward at once, they can't shoot everybody. So it feels like we're in that powder keg situation now, right? Where all it's going to take is, we hoped it was going to be this. You know, our thing was going to be the trigger that let 30% of academics come forward and say, you know, it's bullshit. And if enough people start saying it, other people start feeling safe to say it. We wish that more people feel safe. You know, we took a risk. It's been fine for us. We'll see what happens to Pete. But if more people take that risk and start speaking out, then there's change coming.
Now you were a mathematician.
Yeah.
And that's your background in academia. That would appear at least to be something that is beyond all this stuff because it's just dealing with numbers.
Yeah, math itself mostly has not been touched by this, but there's this whole branch in there that's called the studies of science and technology. And mostly what they go after is, you know, the sciences or whatever, especially they go after biology and psychology. And they feel like they've got a lot of inroads into that. We wrote the astronomy paper to try to push that all the way to a hard science. We said that astronomy is sexist and can only be fixed by putting in queer horoscopes. They thought that was a good project.
They keep asking him to rewrite it.
Yeah, they keep asking me to submit that. I got an email yesterday asking for that one again.
Yeah.
So even though we've come public. So with math, mostly where you see this stuff hitting, though, they don't, I mean, some people are saying that math has inherently got sexism or racism because I guess apparently women and minorities are going to be naturally bad at numbers is what they're assuming. I don't know what they're assuming. That's ludicrous. But they mostly go after education. So they say, oh, look, the scores, the SAT math scores or whatever for men, white men are higher than for black men or something like that. Why could that be? Well, you know, maybe there are a lot of factors that go into that, but they don't give a shit about a lot of factors. It's racism. So therefore math education must be racist. Therefore we need social justice initiatives in math education.
Right.
And that's exactly what they do. And so then you have diversity math, and I don't even know what that is. But it's not something that you would see like at mathematics research level. It's something that you see at junior high school, elementary school that they're teaching your kids, which is why it's scary as hell.
So is there a light at the end of the tunnel? And what do you?
Yeah, I still think there's a lot. I think people hate this stuff. I think people are
People
getting sick.
outside hate it.
Hate it,
People
and people
outside
inside
hate it.
hate it too, though.
But
It's-
they're afraid.
Yeah, I had this guy come up to me repeatedly last week. This guy, he's got 2 PhDs, brilliant guy. He comes up to me repeatedly. What you did is so important. It's so necessary. I can't talk about it. I'm sorry I can't talk about it. I wish I could talk about it. But I talk to a lot of academics, and everybody's saying the same thing. They know you got them. It's only a matter of time now. One more event, and they shake off the fear. I think it's close. I don't know what the next event is. I don't think it's more bogus papers. I think it's probably somebody getting fired that didn't deserve it or something like that. One more thing, and people are going to be ready to shake this off.
Why does this ideology infect tech companies? And it seems to get them more than it gets anyone else.
I know.
What
Demore.
is it?
We should ask Demore that. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
well, he's fucked. I mean, that guy
Yeah.
can't get a job.
He just got one. I just talked to him the other day. He just got one.
Well, don't say where he's working.
No, definitely
No.
not.
They'll go after him.
Yeah, I don't know why it's in tech so much. Maybe there's some kind of Silicon Valley connection there or whatever, where, you know, Silicon Valley is in, you know, the kind of Bay Area, California. You've got a lot of the liberal hippie stuff that started out, as you were talking about, in the 60s and 70s. So it's kind of in the water there. In general, I would say that what you're seeing is that this stuff has, the big turn to making this applied was in the 90s. Right? So they've had an entire generation of students that have just been really getting this stuff crammed down their throat. They really have taken over the education in the last 10 years. It was just starting when I left academia in 2010 that, you know, it was like, oh, we're going to focus on diversity. We're going to have diversity commitments. It's going to get into the general curriculum. So you're getting more and more students that are getting educated in this that are now going out into the workplace. Right? So if half your workforce in tech, because tech moves so fast, I'm just guessing why this might be a thing. Tech moves really fast, so you've got to have some fresh training go in there. If they've been educated with diversity stuff crammed down their throat the whole time, and there's huge initiatives to try to, you know, increase representation of women in particular in tech, and these are seen as, you know, automatically good initiatives. If there's been, this is the culture that they're being educated in, and then they take that culture to the workplace and think this is what tech is about, and then they're surrounded by like-minded people who encourage it. It's totally plausible that what you've got is sort of a tech echo chamber that's bouncing these things around and keeping it there.
Here's another question. Why is it that, I mean, here's the scenario, right? The scenario is universities are almost predominantly taught by people that are on the left.
True.
It's massive. It's in the 90% range,
True.
right? When you have this sort of environment of these nonsense ideas that are accepted as fact and taught and put into